Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we bring the complete, expanded and deeply reflective history of Prophet Lūt, a.s., a story that Allah repeats in several surahs to warn, guide and remind humanity about the dangers of moral corruption. 1. Early life and relationship with Prophet Ibrahim, a.s. Prophet Lūt, a.s., was born in a blessed family. He grew up closely under the influence of his uncle, Prophet Ibrahim, a.s., one of the greatest messengers in history. From his youth, Lūt, a.s., displayed a pure heart, strong belief in Allah, deep respect for truth, a dislike for falsehood and immorality. When Allah called Ibrahim, a.s., to prophethood, Lūt was one of the first people to accept the message. He migrated with him, supported him, and lived under his guidance. Later, Allah chose Lūt, a.s., as a prophet and sent him to a distant group of people living in the valley close to the Dead Sea, known in Islamic tradition as the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. 2. The condition of the cities before Lūt, a.s., arrived. These cities were not ordinary towns. They were economically rich, geographically beautiful, filled with fertile land, located along trade routes, but spiritually they were broken. The people had fallen into crimes never committed by any humans before them. Allah describes them as a people who transgressed all limits, a nation drowned in ignorance, a people who approached men with desire instead of women. Their evils included homosexuality as a public, normalized practice. They were the first nation in human history to adopt this as a lifestyle. Shameless gatherings. They performed immoral acts in public, laughed openly about their sins, and mocked anyone who spoke about modesty. Robbery and violence. They ambushed travelers, stole wealth, and sometimes even assaulted them. Rejection of morality. Purity, family values, or righteousness had no place in their society. This was the environment Prophet Lūt, a.s., was sent into. 3. Lūt's dawah begins, a prophet standing alone. When he arrived, Lūt, a.s., saw the level of corruption and was deeply shocked. Yet, with courage and mercy, he stood before them and said, "Do you commit such immorality as no people before you ever committed?" He invited them to worship Allah, return to natural relationships, protect travelers, live with dignity, stop public indecency, follow the guidance of Allah, but instead of listening, they laughed at him. They said, "Who are you to tell us how to live? You are too pure, we don't want purity. If you don't stop preaching, we will expel you from our land." Only a small handful of followers obeyed him. 4. The pain of Lūt, a.s., rejected by his own wife. Even within his own home, Lūt, a.s., faced betrayal. His wife secretly supported the people, mocked her husband's message, informed the townspeople when guests arrived, loved the comfort and lifestyle of Sodom more than faith. Although she lived with the Prophet, she chose disbelief. She later became one of the examples Allah mentions as a person who was destroyed because of her own actions, not because of her husband's righteousness. 5. The people challenged the Prophet. When Lūt, a.s., continued advising them, they challenged him arrogantly. "Bring us the punishment of Allah if you are truthful." They had reached such a level of arrogance that they demanded destruction, unaware of the danger they were inviting. Lūt, a.s., heartbroken, made dua, "My Lord, help me against these corrupt people." 6. The arrival of the angels in human form. Allah sent 3 mighty angels, Jibrāīl, a.s., Mikail, a.s., and another angel. They first visited Prophet Ibrahim, a.s., giving him glad tidings of a child and informing him that they were on their way to destroy the people of Lūt. When they reached Lūt's home, they appeared as handsome young men, testing the people's sin. Lūt, a.s., was terrified, not because of the guests, but because he knew how his nation treated strangers. He tried to protect them, saying, "You will bring humiliation upon me today." The corrupt men of the city heard the news and rushed to Lūt's house, excited with evil intentions. They surrounded his home, shouting and demanding he hand over the guests. Lūt, a.s., cried, "Fear Allah, and do not disgrace me concerning my guests." But they mocked him. 7. The angels revealed themselves. At this point, the angels spoke, "O Lūt, do not fear. We are messengers of your Lord. They will not reach you." Jibrāīl, a.s., struck the attacking men with a single blow, making them blind and unable to find their way. Then the angels commanded, "Leave this town with your family." Walk during the night. Do not look back. Your wife will remain behind. The punishment had been sealed. 8. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Just before dawn, the command of Allah came. What happened next was one of the most terrifying punishments in human history. 1. Jibreel as lifted the entire city. He raised the cities to the sky until angels in the heavens heard their screams. 2. He flipped the city upside down. The land was turned inside out. The highest point became the lowest. 3. A rain of burning stones. Stones made of baked clay, each stone marked with the name of the person it was meant for, rained down upon every remaining sinner. 4. Complete annihilation. No house, no wall, no soul survived except the believers who followed Lūt as. Their land became barren, lifeless and inverted, a reminder for all who pass by. The area today near the Dead Sea remains one of the lowest, most unusual terrains on earth, a silent testimony. 9. The aftermath. Prophet Lūt as and the believers settled in a different region and continued their lives in safety. Allah mentions Lūt as with honor. As a man of purity, a caller to truth, a prophet who stood alone, a symbol of courage against society's pressure. His story stands as a timeless reminder of what happens when a society rejects morality and challenges divine guidance. 10. Lessons from the story. 1. Immorality destroys civilizations. A society that becomes proud of sin invites destruction. 2. Too much comfort in sin leads to arrogance. The people mocked the warnings until it was too late. 3. Faith is personal. Family cannot save you. The wife of Lūt as was destroyed despite living with a prophet. 4. Standing for truth sometimes means standing alone. Lūt as had only a few followers, yet he never compromised. 5. Allah's justice is perfect. He delays punishment, but when it arrives it is complete and undeniable. Conclusion. The story of Prophet Lūt as is not simply a historical incident. It is a mirror for every generation, a warning to hold tightly to purity, family values and the guidance of Allah. May Allah keep our hearts firm upon truth and protect us from the mistakes of past nations. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.